Hi guys, well, it's been a while since we've done one of these, hasn't it? But I did say I'd do one today, and I'm going to. Those of you that have seen Twitter, and that I see quite often, this probably isn't going to come as a surprise to, but we're going to talk about it anyway, and this is a fact that last week I was on the receiving end of some pretty defamatory comments around disability. The first one was someone, again, without any medical qualifications, as is usually the case, but that does have, a bit of a know-it-all attitude, telling me that, and I'm going to put this in quotation marks, you're not fit to work. Well, that's great. I am fit to work. I am fit to still be a useful member of society. And their other half told me that, in their opinion, my condition should now be under control because I've had it for so long. I mean, what can you do with that? You can change a lot of things. Ignorance isn't one of them. Believe me, if fibromyalgia could be put under control, I'd have put it under control a very long time ago. If my heart condition could be controlled, I'd have put that under control a long time ago, and I certainly would have had the BPD under control a while ago. It just annoys me that, people can come up with stuff like this. You're not fit to work. Well, okay, a lot of people might say, all right, well, brilliant, I'm not fit to work. And, have a lie down with that one. Or, think it's going to make them a lesser member of society. And that's what we need to be aware of. Yeah, you get people with disabilities. A lot of people with disabilities that aren't fit to work. I'm not one of them. There are things I can do. All right, running a marathon ain't going to be one of them. I can't do a 8 to 10 hour physical job anymore like I used to, but I can and I will continue to work. And I'd love to get my condition under control. I'd love to get all three of my conditions under control, but it ain't going to happen, is it? The minute they find a cure for fibromyalgia, I'm going to be first in that queue, believe me. So that did kind of piss me off a lot. I was absolutely furious, and I am taking some legal advice on this one. I am speaking to a barrister, which will give you probably an idea that it was in an official capacity, and that's all I'm saying. I'm not naming names. I'm the bigger person. Someone else's ridiculous opinions, yeah, it winds me up. But really, I'm doing this because I want to try and raise a little bit of awareness around that one. Disabled people, we are fit to work. There's plenty of things we can still do, regardless. I think someone's inability to see our abilities is their disability, because we can all offer something to the wider community. You see, I'm gobsmacked with this. I don't even know how to word this. It's absolute nonsense. Just what do you do with it? Why are we still in the 1940s way of thinking here? Why do people still think, oh, someone's disabled, they're absolutely useless? It's like when I'm on certain social media platforms and I see the word handicapped still being used. We should be beyond this. Let's not have conversations about what disabled people can't do. Let's have conversations around what we can do. I try and do what I can, not only in my working life and not only, obviously, with my sport, but I try and be there to be not an inspiration for everyone. That sounds very arrogant. But, I try and do my own little bit in my own weird and wacky way to raise some awareness about invisible conditions. And hopefully someone somewhere watches my videos And they think, well, if Sue can do it, I can do it. You know, I can, bounce back from whatever, and I can use my good days to channel into something productive. You know, I just don't even know what to say with people like this. I just honestly can't. Yeah, we all know that I've got a condition that some days I'm better than others. Some days I don't manage. I can't walk. Sorry, Buster just wanted to say hi. Some days I can't walk more than 5 meters without a stick or without using a frame. Other days I'm fine. We know this. We know what fibromyalgia is. We know how it affects people. We know what BPD is. We know how it affects people. We know what heart disease is. We know how it can affect people. We also know that these things can, in most cases, be worked around. Not ideally, no. Because anyone that suffers from any disability or any mental illness would much rather not have it, believe me. You know, I'd swap everything for just one day of normal. Just one day where I wake up and I'm not in pain. You know, one day where I don't have to take 8 to 10 painkillers a day. You know, one day where I'm not taking 15, 20 tablets. One night where I don't need to take a sleeping pill to try and get me off to sleep and, stop my brain from going crazy with me. One day where I'm not having destructive thoughts. I'd swap everything I've got for that. And so would most other sufferers. We don't need to be made to feel like we're less than. You know, we're fighting for equality. And, 9 times out, every time I sit there and think, okay, well, there is more awareness now about invisible disabilities, something happens. You know, like someone will turn around and look at me when I'm parking the car, as if to say, well, hang on a minute, why are you in a disabled bay? Or someone will come up with the usual chestnut about, how can you be the disabled footballer? Or something like this. I'm less than. I've got a disability. In fact, I've got 3 of them. And I'm less than everybody else. Even something daft, like if my personality's having a bad day, which is a lot of the time, because it amazes me some days that I've got a PD, because I sometimes don't think I've got a personality. But, even the days where I'm less than level and I'm getting mocked or I'm getting a load of sarcasm, even that, it's a less than thing, isn't it? Everyone was running around saying be kind post Caroline Flack. What's happened to that? Is that only when, a celebrity dies? Or should we not just be kind 24/7, 365? So, like I say, it's made me very, very angry. I'm furious. If it was said to someone who may not have a great deal of mental strength, again, it's something that could have very far-reaching and possibly even tragic consequences. So, is it really necessary to tell someone something like that, really? I mean, apart from the fact that who on earth are they to say something like that? To tell me that I'm not fit to work, or that my condition should be more under control because I've had it for so long. Apart from who the hell are they to say something like this? Well, just why? Why say it? Just, yeah. But a week down the road, I've had a good think about it, and I'm just going to do what I normally do and come out fighting. Because I'm not less than. I still try and be the best I can be with everything. I try and be the best friend I can be. I try and be the best teammate I can be. I try and be the best wife I can be. I try and be the best stepmother I can be. I try and be the best step-grandmother I can be. I try and be the best mother to a delinquent, furry lunatic that I can be. I'm polite to everybody. And, yeah, you know, just, well, just, guys, you know, my message to those people, and they know who they are, is I'm coming back stronger. I meant everything I said in that room. And you'll know what I mean. And I meant it. Karma is going to come and bite you, and it is going to come and bite you severely. So, you know, that's on you now, isn't it? Anyway, I'm going to move on a little bit now. Some good news is I had my first session with Uplift last week, and they're putting me in for something called EDMR. It's going to be about a 6-month waiting list. So I've just got to try and hang in there before then. So that's a positive. That really is a plus. It's one of those things where we're going back to the fact that part of me would rather stick pins in my eyes than go through any form of talking therapy. But the other part of me sitting there thinking, well, something's got to be done, because just changing my medication is probably the equivalent of putting an elastoplast on a catastrophic bleed. Something's got to give, because as we all know, my mental health a few months ago took a really, really severe crash. So yeah, so much as I ain't looking forward to it, hopefully it will start doing some good. And I'm going to make that point of anyone that's struggling, reach out, talk to somebody, even if it's using the Shout text service. There is help there. Take it, don't suffer in silence. Apart from that, yeah, managed. It's International Holocaust Memorial Day today, so I'm not going to rattle on too much about what happened last week. We've done 10 minutes of it, because I think today's the day that, you know, we should really, if we're going to be talking about discrimination, be thinking about the worst case of discrimination that the world's ever seen, and hopefully ever will see. You know, I don't need to explain what the Holocaust is. I think everyone knows. Certainly everyone should know. If not, your history teacher might need to have a word with themselves. And, you know, we all know it happened, despite what certain sections of social media want us to think. There is more than enough evidence. I recently reread Anne Frank's diary, and it's still as hard-hitting now as it was when I read it as a kid. And the sad thing is, every time you read it, you really hope that there's going to be a different ending. You know, you really hope that it's not just going to end in the absolute silence, just that page and then nothing. While you know what her ultimate fate was, you just really hope that this one, you know, this time I read the book, it's going to carry on. And she's going to be able to come out of hiding and live what was no doubt going to be an incredibly productive life, you know. I think that she would have gone on to great things. So yeah, I've got my candle in the window downstairs, in memory of the victims of the Holocaust, and I am going to sit here tonight and spend a little time in quiet contemplation. And yeah, we remember is all I'm going to say on that. And the last thing I'm going to tell you is, as you all know, last year I did the Tour de Scotty, which was a challenge for Scotty's Little Soldiers. And this year we're going to up the ante a little bit. And I'm going to do 2. One of which is a marathon over a month. And thankfully it's over a month. Again for Scotty's. So May, I've got to try and get 26.2 miles in. Luckily, it does what it says. I can do it over the month, so just a little bit every day will get us there with that. And also at some point, probably September, but I might try and do it earlier if I can. We're going to go for 100 miles fundraising for Dementia UK. Dementia, well, my grandmother died from it, and I adored my gran. I was lucky enough to have 17 years where I saw her pretty much every day. It was my gran that taught me to read. She's always said she's not taken any responsibility for my handwriting. And yeah, that 17 years, was just incredible. It's going to be 30 years this year, and it just doesn't hurt any less. And there's not a day goes by that I don't think of my nan. I also lost my dad to dementia, and a couple of my friends recently have lost their mothers to it. So it's a horrible illness. The suffering isn't just for the patient, it's so wide reaching for family and friends, and it's long, it's very drawn out, and you almost grieve twice in a way, because you're continually grieving as the person that you know and love is slowly taken from you, and then there's a grief at the ending. So I'm happy to do my bit to help and try and get some funding in for research. So hopefully one day there'll be a way they can either just do something so it's eradicated or cured, or at the very least slow it down so that we do get more time with those we love. If you've never seen what dementia does to somebody, then you're incredibly lucky, and I hope that you never do, because I honestly wouldn't wish it, either having the illness or watching someone you love go through it. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. It really is absolutely heartbreaking. And if any of you guys watching have got a family member with it, then my heart absolutely goes out to you. Yeah, it's just indescribable. I certainly don't have the power of words. I certainly don't have the vocabulary to describe it. So yeah, apart from that, have a good weekend. Oh, hopefully we're going to be back in action this weekend, after a few weeks minus football because of the weather. Hopefully we'll be back in action. Just waiting for the team sheets to come out now, and yeah, that'll be I can think of a lot of girls at Burfield that are absolutely desperate to get on that pitch and get a competitive game under their belts. Yeah, so I'm going to sign it off there, and hopefully you guys are going to have a really good weekend. Keep warm, keep safe, and yeah, we'll do another one of these soon. I am going to try and set something up, a podcast or a Zoom interview type thing with a really inspirational young man that I know very well. A guy called Reese Rutledge, who runs something called Defeat Don't Repeat. So when I get that up, that will definitely be an interesting one for me to have a brew and a chat with such an inspirational young man. And yeah, hopefully we're going to get a few more of these videos in now. I don't know how far we're going to take this, whether I can do, once I get enough subscribers up, some Q&As. But what I really want to do this year is try and grow the profile for other people, so that my wasting the world's supply of oxygen is in a way me doing some good. What I want to do is I want to encourage other people to realise that something that they have been diagnosed with, like be it an invisible disability, be it something to do with their mental health, even if it's a long-term injury of some description. I just want to, use a platform to share my experiences, and share my thoughts, and hopefully get others to see that there's a way back. Hopefully I can share some of my experiences, like the bullying video, to raise awareness for other things. But it is really about raising awareness of various invisible illnesses. And as I say, I just want other people to realise that there is a way back, and that they can still, do what they loved before. They may have to slow it down. They may have to take it down a few gears, but it's still all out there for you. But yeah, that's pretty much it from me. So I will catch everyone very soon. Have a good weekend, guys. See ya.